I don't normally do videos like this where you actually see me, but I figured I'd mix it up a little bit. It's been 2 years today since I bought the K5. It's been a decent journey. I know last year, the video I made, I was asking, did I make a mistake? Well, it's been another year. And I will say, this year was better than previous years. The first year, there was no tow trucks, there was no breakdowns, sudden deaths at 1,300 miles. It was just a year. It was at a little over 5,000 miles this time last year, and we just turned 10,000 miles. I'll put the clip in, and so that's where we're currently at. Alright, well, we've changed. I'm going to just do some voiceovers here as I drive, so you'll get clips of me driving and me talking. This was originally planned to be outside the vehicle in a nice setting, but anybody that does YouTube knows that when you go to an empty park to film a YouTube video, it no longer is an empty park, and it's really awkward talking to yourself. But anyway, so we're at 10,211 miles. And 2 years as of today since I bought the car. My opinion of the car has stayed pretty much the same. The biggest thing that I will say is I've actually grown to like the car a little bit more. As weird as that sounds, as another year has gone by. Outside of having to put new tires on it, which you'll see those Nexen tires, due to the Pirellis wearing out at 9,000 miles to the point they were down to the wear bar, and then I had a puncture on the back tire that caused the final demise of them as I was due for inspection, and I figured might as well just put the new ones on, and I can't patch the one that was there. So we put the new tires on, did an inspection and an alignment, which the alignment's a whole different story. I personally don't feel the car needed it. I never had an issue with the car pulling. I drove straight, steering wheel straight. They insisted that it needed an alignment, did the alignment, and the steering wheel was off. That was a 3-month-long process, but you know, it got taken care of. Steering wheel's finally straight, and the car handles quite good. No major things that I've had to do to the car. I replaced the air filter, a second air filter. I'm on my 3rd oil change, due to my 4th here shortly. Other than that, the car in the last year has done what a car should do, and that was drive and be reliable. And I really don't have any complaints about the car. At this point, I don't regret buying the car. I feel that it's been a very good investment, especially with the market currently. Because if you look at this particular car with this mileage, actually not even this particular car, the GT line, which is the trim below this, they're going for $32,000 right now, used. Which is ridiculous because they were $26,000 MSRP when they were new. So being that this is an EX, a higher trim, I should easily be able to get that, especially with being only at 10,000 miles 2 years later. So I feel like I made a good investment of buying it when I did, because the car's value has done nothing but go up, despite owning it for 2 years and driving it. So I think that I did well there. I still really like the look of the car. I still really like the drive. Actually, the drive I think is phenomenally better with these new tires. Call me crazy, I did not like the Pirellis. I was not a fan of the Pirelli tires. I feel that they were very underwhelming as far as their lifespan. I don't feel that a tire should have been worn out 9,000 miles like that. They were, now I get it, new tires on new cars aren't made the same. So I know you're gonna say that. But they didn't ride as well as these tires do. I haven't gotten winter performance out of these tires yet, as I got them put on in July. So I'll know more come July as far as what I feel the quality of these tires are, how good they are, how good they grip. But on dry and wet pavement, I'm blown away with how much better these tires handle. They seem to handle the corners better, and they handle acceleration better. This car was, and has always been, very prone to spinning the front tires off the line, especially if you're in sport mode. You hit that gas just a little too hard, or you try to maneuver, like say you're in traffic and you need to switch lanes and there's cars coming, you need to hurry up and get over. You're trying to merge onto a highway. This car is very, very prone to spinning the front tires under that kind of acceleration. And I'm not talking just a chirp, it will full on spin. And it kicks into traction control, the engine dies out, it's a whole thing. With these tires, the car doesn't seem to want to do that. It will try to spin, and then will shudder and grip, and will actually take off. So I've been very impressed with how these tires do in comparison to what would have been, in my opinion, a premium tire. But other than that, the car's been great. I know they have the 2023 models out currently. Really not much has changed. The new logo was on the 22s. I think they changed around some badging on the cars. But other than that, they really haven't changed. The offerings are still the same. To my knowledge, they're not offering the full digital dash even still now in United States here. So do I feel the need that I need to rush out and get a 2023? Absolutely not. It's going to come down to, at the end here, next year this time, it's going to come down to what the car market's like. Do I plan on keeping the car at this moment in time? Yes. I do plan on keeping the car and buying it out here, being that I know the condition of the car, I know what it's been through, I know how it was broken in, I know, you know, it has newer tires on it that hopefully will last more than 9,000 miles, unlike the Pirellis, and that it will continue to raise. See, right there, it grips and goes. But it will come down to the market and what is available, and what my payment options are going to be like at that point. If it makes more sense to go ahead and buy a new K5, I would probably get another K5. I wouldn't get it in black, like I said in the last video, but I would definitely be interested in buying another K5. I would definitely probably stick with front-wheel drive, as much as I feel like the all-wheel drive could be beneficial here in Pennsylvania. I just feel like less problems with front-wheel drive vehicles because there's less moving components. Not to mention you do get better fuel economy, and I feel like I'm going to get better performance out of this car, being lighter and not having the extra load of turning the extra set of wheels in the transfer case, etc. So all in all, I think the only thing that would deter me from keeping this car or getting another K5 would be if they did come out with the Kia truck that was rumored, and I don't know what's going to happen with that, which would be the sister or the cousin to the Santa Cruz. I am a fan of Santa Cruz. I think it's a nice looking little SUV slash truck. It's not really a truck because it's a unibody, but I feel like for what I use a vehicle for, that could be very handy to have a small little bed, have the all-wheel drive, have the bigger 2.5 four-cylinder in it, and just have the flexibility of a SUV truck versus having just a four-door sedan that kind of limits your payloads and what you can haul. And all-wheel drive would be nice, and I'd rather have it in an SUV than a car, just for ground clearance reasons, because I feel most of the problem I had with this car in the snow, which was only very minor, and I think it was due to these tires, the Pirellis being at the end of their life at the end of this winter, was the car actually getting beached because of the height it sits off the ground and the amount of snowfall we had. So it got stuck in the driveway. Other than that, the car handled really well the first winter, handled decently last winter. I'm curious to see how it's going to handle this winter with these new tires, because they are a different tread pattern and different manufacturer, so I don't really know how they're going to hold up. All in all, as you can see in some of the B-roll clips that I filmed, the interior is held up really nicely. Doesn't really have any major signs of wear. The steering wheel, I think, honestly has the most wear, which is kind of disappointing, but I kind of figured it was going to happen. Most leather wrapped steering wheels do start to get this gloss look to them, and they are a little stickier per se. They're not as soft. When I first got the car, the steering wheel was super soft and actually felt really nice. But just in normal driving, it does wear down. You can kind of see from the side of the top wheel here what it used to look like and now what it's starting to look like here. And it gets its little cuts and scrapes here and there, not necessarily cuts, but more so scrapes. Just from getting in and out, things bumping it. It's gonna happen. I do keep this steering wheel cleaned. I use a leather treatment, leather cleaner and leather conditioner on it by Chemical Guys. So I try to keep it dressed. When it is dressed up, it does feel like new again. Right now it is showing that it's probably due for another treatment. Same with the seats. They held up really well. They don't really show very much signs of wear. I know they're not really true leather, so we shall see how that goes compared to real leather. Head unit, stereo wise, I see a bunch of people in the K5 groups complaining about their radio doing weird stuff with the backup camera, cutting out. In 2 years, I had this cut out one time and go blank on me. There's a little reset button on the front of the radio. I was able to press that and it came back and didn't have a problem again. The other issue I had with it was with the Kia Connect, or the UVO, what it used to be called. It did stop working for a period of time. So I had to contact Kia and put in a complaint about it. They were supposed to send me to a dealership, but the dealership never got back to me. So I ended up fixing it from YouTube searching. So that was great. It was back up and working, and I haven't had a problem with it since. Other than that, fuel economy has been okay. I really haven't gone anywhere since I bought this car. As you can tell by the miles, 2 years later, only having 10,000 miles on it. But fuel economy, I'm averaging probably about 22 to 23.5 miles per gallon. That's mostly city with small splurts of like 10-minute long highway travel. In the 2 years, I think the farthest I've had it was about an hour and a half away and back. I did average about 39 miles per gallon on that trip. So it's not terrible fuel economy, not great, but you're also seeing the kind of driving and the kind of roads that this car primarily sees in its daily life. I mostly do a lot of back road driving. It's great on these roads. It handles really well. It corners very well. I can't complain. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this year in this car. It's not much to talk about. It's lived up to all of my hopes. Do I wish I had a few different options? Maybe. Do I wish I would have got a different color? Maybe. But all in all, the car is done really well, and I'm very happy with it. I would highly recommend anybody looking to get a mid-size sedan, which is what I would consider this, to look very closely at the K5. It puts the other cars to shame as far as the value. That is, if you can get it without a ridiculous markup. But like even the Nissan Altima, I drove a 2020 Nissan Altima. Not happy with the car. Less performance, not as good handling. The fake shifts from the CVT were terrible. The interior was hard plastics everywhere. The fit and finish was just terrible. It rattled. The only rattle you get from this car is the sunroof, but you're going to get that with a panoramic sunroof. You probably even hear it in the camera right now. It's not terrible. I live with it. I listen to the radio. Typically the radio is always on, and it's always up a little bit, so I never really hear these noises. Speaking of Nissan Altimas, there's a previous gen Nissan Altima there. But yeah, the car's been really good. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I'd highly recommend getting another one. I'm going to probably end the video here with a conclusion of 2 years of ownership. Very happy, very pleased with the car. I think it's been a very good car for me. Very happy with how everything has panned out as far as after its initial headaches of breaking down on me so early on. It's been a very good car ever since. and it was just a fluke of a new car, new assembly process, and that's all I'm gonna leave it to. If you have any comments, concerns, criticisms, leave them down in the comments. If you liked the video and like to see more, I will have more videos coming up here shortly. One of them is 7 years of ownership of my Oldsmobile. Also, maybe I'll do a little bit more of a review on these tires, get you some shots of those, and talk about them a little more in depth, price-wise and such. Like, again, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed this little video. Hopefully it helps if you're on the, you know, questioning what car to get in this current market and what you should look for. And yeah, anyways, once again, thanks for watching. Have a good day.